I'm sure you've heard this song at least once before. In case you somehow haven't, first of all, have you been living under a rock? This is One More Time by French house duo Daft Punk. One More Time was the lead single to their second album, Discovery. The song peaked at #1 on the US dance charts, as well as in other countries like the UK, Ireland, Portugal, and France, the duo's home country. It's a well-known fact that the song has uncredited vocals from Romanthony, who is mostly known for his appearance on this song. But if you're wondering who that is, look no further than this video. Romanthony was a producer, singer, songwriter, DJ, and multi-instrumentalist who had a cult following in house music, and played by no one's rules except for his own. So why is it that people only know him from Daft Punk? It's not like he wasn't popular, because he definitely was. But in case you haven't already, I'd like you to meet Romanthony.
I'll tell you the first time. Romanthony. I'd like you to meet Romanthony.
On September 5th, 1967, Anthony Wayne Moore was born in Monmouth County, New Jersey. Not much is known about his family or background other than the fact that he has at least one sister. From a young age, Anthony showed creative prowess, knowing how to make music from anything he could find in his house. His parents would recognize this, as they would later have him take guitar lessons. And as he kept learning, he began to develop a palette that would influence him later on.
I first started off totally away from house music by playing the guitar.
Oh yeah.
You know, just like a little kid going to guitar lessons like that, and just went from there. You know, that was when I was really young, and just played a lot of things that totally unrelated to house music. So I got a musical base first.
Like what kind of stuff did you play?
Believe it or not, like Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Chuck Berry, and a lot of Hendrix.
So it's kind of like me then.
Absolutely, yeah, very eclectic.
Definitely,
The guitar-based
Yeah.
music, yeah.
The influences from the songs that he would play on his guitar would find a new flavor to mix when Anthony began to venture into his local club scene, more specifically Club Zanzibar in Newark, which was where house music first came onto his radar and never left.
Okay, that was around maybe a couple of clubs opened up, like Zanzibar and things like that, and I would suggest that anybody who wants to be a DJ or a producer go to the clubs and hear the music in that, you know, arena, in that way. And once I did that, it just knocked me out. The loudness, the volume of the stuff, and the way the music sounded over systems that were really, you know, great systems. Like the simplest thing was really effective, you know.
Right.
I'd suggest anybody who wants to be involved, go to the clubs and listen, you know, first, and then from there I was hooked. I was hooked in the whole scene.
Well, what about it moved you?
The force. Music, you know, music is emotional, but when you can really feel it, like the bass, and it's all around you. It's on another level.
Yeah.
On another level.
With Anthony already having an interest in making music, he decided house music would be his genre of choice. In 1989, Anthony and one Millis King, going under the name Millie Mill, would form a duo called Expansion and released a single titled Make My Body Move on Keepin' Step Records. This also marks the first appearance of the name Romanthony. I wonder if there was a cooler way to spell that.
I see you cross the dance floor, and girl, you're looking so good. Just you and the music will make things like they should. You and the music, you make my body move. 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 Yeah.
The song never took off like they thought it would, and the duo presumably disbanded shortly after.
Oh yeah.
What will be, will be.
This is the remix.
This didn't stop Romanthony, as he was still active in his local music scene and eventually gained success there. In 1990, Romanthony founded his own record label, Blackmail Records, and a year later, he released a single titled What Will Be, Will Be, with singer Michelangelo and rapper Special T.
What will be, will be. Just you wait and see if it's real or just a fantasy. It's not wise to take you home tonight because you know, girl, you never do me right.
Oh yeah, that's totally not Roman Anthony. But his first hit wouldn't be until the label's very next release. That same year, he released an EP under the name Roman Anthony, now spelled in a different way than on the first record, but pronounced the same, featuring a song titled Now You Want Me.
Baby, 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 you had my love, and then you said goodbye. Well,
the song became very popular in both New Jersey and New York City, especially at The Shelter, a famous house club that had multiple locations in Manhattan. This would lead to a higher demand for that record as the song grew more and more popular.
And then Blackmail came out with like Now You Want Me. That was one of the first singles. And The Shelter, around the heyday of that, they just blew it up. You know, they blew up that song. And from there, the company in the beginning got out of control. There was so many calls from people, asking for it, and we had to really get ourselves together as far as distribution and how to get the records. But the easiest thing to do is just do what you can. And the other thing is if they want it in the beginning, they should be there in the end when you get your product together. Just do what you can, get the records to the places and the DJs that you can, and don't worry about all those impossible places like that really you could never get your records to and have any idea how they're selling or charting. Just, regionally start small if you want to, and just keep going, basically.
But the song would reach far beyond not just Roman Anthony's general area, but beyond the United States.
And now, the adventure continues.
In 1993, Roman Anthony recorded a DJ set to help promote him in Europe. The tape was then sent to the best clubs in Europe, which got him several gigs according to YouTube user Paul Funk, who helped him get said gigs. That same year, he signed to Azuli Records, an underground house label in the UK. There, he would release songs like Fallen from Grace, Let Me Show You Love, In the Mix, Ministry of Love, as well as remixes of his first hit, Now You Want Me. A specific mix of this song, titled Aparte Ante, became a cultural phenomenon in the city of Cork, Ireland. This song was a big deal to the club goers of Cork. It sort of became the theme song to the city's nightlife. It became known colloquially as the Ball and Chain, and it is often associated with a venue in the city, Sir Henry's. Also, does anyone else love Dancing Dave? Because I love Dancing Dave, and I hope he's doing good right now. Between the years of 1993 and 1995, Roman Anthony was still releasing singles on Blackmail Records, including The Change and Hold On, The Wanderer, and Bring You Up. But he was also working with other labels, as well as other artists, like Eve Angel, who worked with him on the tracks It's Not the Same and Get It Together, which came out on the labels 83 West and Brooklyn Tracks, respectively. I'm going to pause the video right here for a sec because during the making of this video, I found a big confusion about Eve Angel that absolutely needs to be cleared up. As I just mentioned before, Eve Angel is a singer Roman Anthony worked with in the 90s. According to Discogs, Eve Angel's real name is Dione Remedy. These days, Dione Remedy is a holistic transformation pathfinder. That's her title. I don't know what else to tell you. But before that, she did have a connection to Roman Anthony and has identified herself as Eve Angel in recent years.
Hey, so I was asked by a friend of mine to sing one of my old singles. So this is for you. We gotta get this thing together. We gotta get this thing together. Loving's good, it's so good to me like no other could. When I need it, you gave it, just like a man should.
So that's her, right? Eve Angel is Dione Remedy, right? Right? Well, as I was doing additional research for this project, I came across Kim Still. Kim Still is a singer-songwriter from Asbury Park, New Jersey, which is in Monmouth County, the same area Roman Anthony is from. And she has also identified herself as Eve Angel.
You worked with Roman Anthony.
Yes, I did. That's actually where I got my start. I was singing, and I actually can't remember. I think it was through someone that I met him. and he heard me sing, and we went in and we actually did 4 tracks together. Roman introduced me to house. I mean, I went in his house and there were speakers in every room, and house music never stopped. Wow. It was just a totally new world.
And what was that name he gave you?
He gave me Eve Angel.
So already, I was like, what the fuck? But it gets even crazier. Kim has acknowledged Dione Remedy and called her out. Dione did not sing nor write It's Not the Same and Get It Together as Eve Angel. I did. Kim Dixon still. So after I saw that, I was like, what the actual fuck? This left 2 questions in my mind. Who is the real Eve Angel, and why is the liar lying about being Eve Angel? And I thought the only way I was going to get these answers was to talk to both Kim and Dione and see if I can get some answers from them. And what happened? Kim left me on red, and Dione responded with AI. It really is everywhere these days. So I left this situation with my questions unanswered, thinking I would never figure out who Eve Angel really was. Until... One night, while I was on my way home from college, I was listening to Trust by Roman Anthony Presents Lifestyles, released in 1995 on Downtown 161, a house label based in New York City. Now I had heard this record before, and I looked it up on Discogs, and I saw that the vocals were credited to KD. And who is KD? Well, according to Discogs, no one. But on this particular night, I had realized that the singer on the song sounded an awful lot like Eve Angel. And then I remembered the KD credits. Wait a second! Kim Still's maiden name is Dixon, as stated in that comment she left calling Dione out, meaning at the time of the song's release in 1995, her name was Kim Dixon, KD. Oh my fucking god. Ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, Kim Still is the real Eve Angel. But that leaves the other question. Why did Dione Remedy say she was Eve Angel when she wasn't? And the answer to that question is, I don't know. But the most important question was answered, and that's all I needed. So if anybody wants to ask you who Eve Angel is, tell them it's Kim Still. And the moral of the story is, don't listen to Discogs. Okay, back to the video. On March 17th, 1997, Roman Anthony released his debut full-length album, Roman World, on Azuli Records. It features some of his songs released on the label from years before, as well as new material. I personally like the mix of Let Me Show You Love that you can only find on this album, as well as Falling From Grace and Come My Way, which contains a hidden R&B mix that is to die for.
Come my way, you'd come my way, baby. Oh,
That same year, he began working with Scottish producer Kevin McKay, and later signed to his label Glasgow Underground. On March 1st, 1999, Roman Anthony released his second album, Instinctual, a collaborative album with DJ Predator. My favorite tracks off of this one is probably Do You Wanna Dance and Let's Work, Beat Down.
let's work, let's work. It's just another beat down. You know I like it.
Later that same year, on June 14th, Roman Anthony released his third album, Live in the Mix, on Distance Records in France. This was less of an album and more of a DJ mix, with songs created by Roman Anthony himself, as well as other artists he had been working with at the time, such as the previously mentioned DJ Predator, Nari, Kiana Tara, and DJ Mary Mac. My personal favorites from this one are Down For You and the Slambient mix of I Like It. On April 18th, 2000, Roman Anthony released his fourth album, Our Hide and Played in Sight, under Glasgow Underground. The album featured a more eclectic and versatile style compared to his previous works, with some tracks being total reworks of older songs like Bring You Up, What Price Love, and Countdown 2000. I really like this version of Bring You Up, which is a song from the Blackmail label that I already loved. I also like the track Wreck. This album also featured Down For You and Floor Piece from the previous album, but they're both in better quality here. This wound up being Roman Anthony's most successful album, but his success would not stop there, because later that year, the trajectory of his life and career would change forever, all because of one song he made with two French robots. At the 1996 Winter Music Conference in Miami, Roman Anthony met two up-and-coming producers from France, Thomas Bangalter and Guy Manuel de Homem Christo, who formed the duo Daft Punk. You may or may not have heard of them. Anyways, Thomas and Guy Man had been fans of Roman Anthony for quite some time, so you could imagine the excitement they had meeting him and later becoming friends with him. On January 20th, 1997, Daft Punk released their debut album, Homework, on Virgin Records. The album produced the hit singles The Funk and Around the World. On a song off of the album titled Teachers, the pair gave shout-outs to those who came before them, including Roman Anthony. By the end of the year, Homework sold 220,000 copies worldwide, and the album peaked at number 3 on the music charts in France. In 1998, the duo approached Roman Anthony offering a collaboration. He accepted their offer, and together in Roman Anthony's home studio in New Jersey, they worked on 2 songs, that being Too Long,
Can you feel it? Too long, can you feel it?
and of course, One More Time.
One more time.
These songs would stay vaulted for a few years until November 13th, 2000, when One More Time hit the shelves as the lead single to Daft Punk's second album, Discovery. And the other song they made, Too Long, a 10-minute odyssey with a somewhat fitting name, was featured as the final track on the album. One More Time featured Roman Anthony's vocals being put through autotune and other heavy filters. Autotune, now used extensively in music, was kind of a new thing at the time, and also a bit controversial. Thomas Bangalter said in an interview with Remix Magazine, "A lot of people complain about musicians using autotune. It reminds me of the late 70s when musicians in France tried to ban the synthesizer. What they didn't see was that you can use these tools in a new way instead of just for replacing the instruments that came before. We care less now than we used to about what critics say about our music. We like the track, Roman Anthony liked it. We can be disappointed about what they said about the song, but we still liked it. It's just music, it's just entertainment, and as long as we believe in it, that's what's important. It's what we wanted to do." One More Time quickly became a massive hit in the clubs, as well as on the radio, and Roman Anthony suddenly had many more ears on him, because for many people, this was their first introduction to Roman Anthony, and most still didn't know who he was because he wasn't credited on the front cover. It's unknown how Roman Anthony felt not given explicit credit for such a big song, but the experience gave him a new perspective on how the big music industry worked, and in turn, he chose to stay quiet when most in his position would be as loud as possible.
The success of One More Time just changed my life in a lot of ways. It gave me a chance to step back and look at how a machine of like Virgin Records really does a song like that. It's totally different from like the independent selling records from your car and everything like that. It's like marketed, it's pushed, it's promoted. But I was a part of that for once. So I was like, took time to just sit back and let the machine drive itself, and I was just in it instead of me calling the distributors and marketing and promotion. So obviously that enables me to just be quiet.
So after a song as big as One More Time, what's next for an artist like Roman Anthony?
Roman Anthony.
After One More Time, Roman Anthony's output actually slowed down a great deal. And that was because he felt like he didn't need to make a lot of music anymore. Well, at least at that moment. But he pretty much went back to what he was doing before. In 2004, Roman Anthony founded a new record label, Digitalent. And on the label, he released a single titled Collins Avenue Back with Same Dream, All Night Dancing under the alias Club Click, and my personal favorite from this era, When You're Around.
I was
mid-2000s, Roman Anthony seemed to shift his focus on collaborating with other artists. Something else that Roman Anthony took away from One More Time's success was to let newer artists have their space, rather than try to catch up with them.
I think some producers are ahead of me, and I enjoy listening to the new things coming out. You know, some of the electronic acts like Justice for a while, Digitalism, you know, Boys Noise, Dead Mouse. I like sitting back, and I think it was worthy. It's a good energy that came in, so my energy isn't the same, so I don't want to just go in there and fight it. It's like, let it rock, let it come out. And then I'll start to like blend with it, and then keep moving along. So yeah, I just want to be Roman Anthony, this guy, that guy. So a lot of the energies that came in, they're worth sitting back and listening and seeing where these guys are going, the producers, you know, if you're a real fan.
Roman Anthony also seemed to focus on doing live shows during this time. On May 8th, 2009, Roman Anthony played a set in Hong Kong at a venue called Zuma.
Yes, Roman Anthony here. If you like a good night of clubbing, dancing, and feeling good, I would like to invite you to join me at Club Zuma, Hong Kong, May 8th, 2009, for a celebration. Shout out to Lucas and the Rocket Agency and Belvedere Vodka. See ya.
Just a little tidbit. According to Lucas from the La Rocca agency, the venue, Zuma, didn't even pay him. Ouch. On July 17th, 2009, Roman Anthony played a set in Cork, Ireland, where one of his songs became a big thing. Remember? Sir Henry's, Ball and Chain, Dancing Dave? Sometime before or during 2010, Roman Anthony opened up a SoundCloud account, where on April 23rd, 2012, he released a song titled What's Up.
On the floor, baby, I don't care. When you play, it ain't fair. No rules, take it there.
He also left a few comments on this account, which were pretty interesting to read. This is truly a timeless blend of classic disco. Be prawn, Lady T. It's inspirational, refreshingly analog and fat. Nice to be aboard. Good job, Team KNS and Jalapeno Trevor. Yo, at the beat drop, I get hype. Sounds good. Juan's rhymes are dope. Great mix, Ecuador. Ecuador? Okay, so in 2012, Roman Anthony did a lot of work with Ecuadorian producer Duke J. Right now, you're probably wondering, who the fuck is Duke J? Duke J, whose real name is Jorge El Huri Jr., was initially a businessman who runs a BMX park in Ecuador titled Parque Extremo. His entry into the music business was when he started working at Uruguayan record label Minimo Records, where he later signed to and began producing music. The only track that Roman Anthony has liked on his SoundCloud account is a track by Duke J. Interesting. On March 1st, 2012, Duke J released a song featuring Roman Anthony titled I Produce, I Mix.
Give it up for my bro Roman Anthony.
I produce, I mix.
Jesus Christ, what the hell is that voice effect?
Can't stop, man. Won't stop, Roman Anthony, man.
I produce, I mix. There's nothing I can't fix. I mix, I produce.
Anyway, the song also featured Magic Juan, a New Jersey rapper of Dominican descent popular for blending hip-hop and house with merengue and bachata.
I rode, I rock, I'm surfing on that Ciroc. She bad, we own, one ready to get my skeet on.
Roman Anthony doesn't really do much on this track besides the refrain heard for almost the entire track, as well as the guitar in the background. On January 24th, 2013, Roman Anthony and Duke J, now going under the alias Jorgito Juan, released an EP together titled God God on Minimo Records. And on March 5th, 2013, Duke J released an album titled The Idea 3 on Super Music Records. The album has 3 songs featuring Roman Anthony: the previously released I Produce, I Mix, Achieve It, and Miami, M-I-N.
South Beach, I know you feel the heat. Yeah. South Beach, South.
Interesting. On the more mainstream side of things, he also collaborated with artists like Tom Trago, Teen Girl Fantasy,
I'm gonna do it. I wanna
Crack and Smack,
The same blood in you is in me. Let's go back.
and Chris Menace. After all these years, Roman Anthony was still doing his thing. Sure, things slowed down a bit for him, but the music never stopped. Until it did. On May 7th, 2013, Anthony Wayne Moore, better known as Roman Anthony, passed away in his home in Austin, Texas. In the final years of his life, he had been battling kidney disease and unfortunately succumbed to its complications. He was 45 years old. According to a YouTube comment from Lucas LaRocca, Roman Anthony was, quote, totally lost with alcohol and products, insinuating that it contributed to his health issues and passing. His passing was first reported on May 12th by Dione Remedy. She made a post on Facebook that read, "Our music industry has lost yet another pioneer and music legend. I am deeply saddened to announce the passing of my label owner, producer, manager, and family. Our beloved world-renowned DJ and producer, Roman Anthony, has passed away. I will miss him and he will forever remain in my heart. We had a 20-year stint together and he will never be forgotten." The news wouldn't reach the masses for another week, with further confirmation from his family, friends, and other collaborators. My baby brother, Roman Anthony, aka Anthony Moore, passed away May 7th, 2013, at his home in Austin, Texas. Our family is shocked with grief. A memorial service is being planned for a future date. It is so sad. Roman Anthony and me were working on such an amazing song together. He said it was the best song he had ever written. R.I.P. Roman Anthony. I'm truly at a standstill. We had a track in the works. It's almost done. It is true about Roman. We have very close friends. Media has not released info yet, but it is true. R.I.P. my friend. To this day, Roman Anthony is still regarded as a legend in the house community, and rightfully so. He offered a unique take on the genre, bringing more musicality and lyricism than other house artists that were around during his time. He had a voice that was unmistakable, though some people thought when first hearing him that Prince was getting into house music. And perhaps, most importantly, he stuck to his guns and made his music the way he wanted, not the way anyone else wanted, which led him to creating Blackmail Records in the first place. Daft Punk's One More Time still gets played to this day. It's truly stood the test of time. It's been 24 years since its initial release and people still celebrate and dance so free to Roman Anthony's auto-tuned voice. Kevin McKay, founder of Glasgow Underground, one of the labels that Roman Anthony was signed to, has wasted no time in getting his music heard. Most of Roman Anthony's music that's on streaming services right now was stuff that was released on Glasgow Underground. Our Hide in Plain Sight is unfortunately not there, but a couple of songs from the album, Bring You Up and Down For You, can be streamed. On that matter, the rest of his albums aren't on streaming services either, but all of them are easy to find on YouTube. There are also a bunch of remixes that are available on streaming services. In 2018, German DJ and producer Dixon was featured in the After Hours update of GTA Online, and during his set, he could be heard playing the D-Tron edit of Bring You Up. Even more recently, in 2022, Drake and 21 Savage sampled Daft Punk's One More Time on their song Circo Loco.
One more time, hit my line, you know the hair was great.
This video was actually very hard to make because there is little to no information about Roman Anthony online. In fact, I was lucky enough to find the stuff that I did. And I actually had to rewrite this script like twice because there were a bunch of things that I had missed. I didn't make this video just to talk about a niche artist that passed away too early. I made this video because Roman Anthony's life, career, and music deserve to be known. Sure, he helped create one of the biggest electronic songs ever, but he was so much more than the guy that sang One More Time. He was an artist who worked on his craft, even through his illness, which is something I greatly admire. He should have been a star, but he only got as big as he did. But maybe he was okay with that. In an interview with DJ Magazine, Kevin McKay said, "The sad thing was, once One More Time blew up, I think his publisher said, 'I got over $1 million for you here,' or 'I am likely to have $1 million for you here,' and he just stopped making records." Roman Anthony has stated in a 1997 interview with Music Magazine, "For all the people that are waiting for me to get the videos and all the rest, take a look at someone who had all that, and you'll find someone who wrote Slave on themselves and someone who said their concerts were hell. Then tell me that it's a good idea." But at the same time, I think he himself knew that he could do more, stating in that same interview, "I'm trying to get myself ready to allow the songs to go further than the underground clubs. Yeah, I don't know what I have to do. It's like I need to live better, organize my business better, and unfortunately learn from some of the tragedies in dance music and in the music business as a whole, like with Tupac, Biggie Smalls, or Kurt Cobain. I just hope I could figure it out before it gets too late, because there's a need for me to get songs like The Wanderer out to a larger audience. But first of all, I need to understand why people have fallen before me." But whether or not he figured it out, I like to think that he looked back on his career in satisfaction, thankful that he got to do what he did, even outside of One More Time, because Roman Anthony got to do what all artists dream of. He left behind something that everyone will remember, whether it be One More Time, Hold On, The Wanderer, Falling from Grace, Let Me Show You Love, or any other song he had a hand in that people have made unforgettable memories to. He made an impact, and that's all that matters.
I tell you, the first Passover was from bondage, but the second Passover is for true liberation. Till I lose control of the fear deep inside of me. Are we recording? No, it's so clear. A hero I'm soon to be as a wanderer. That was an exclusive for Germany. That's it. The Wanderer Acoustic Unplugged. Okay?